I'm Danielle Maestretti, the Utne Reader librarian, and this is Shelf Life for the week of April 29th. I'm going to start with sort of a recession time, swine flu era happy magazine, Imbibe. It's all about liquids, not just alcohol, although they do have a lot of great recipes and techniques for alcoholic drinks. They also write a lot about coffee and tea and soda and really, it really is a magazine of liquid culture. And it's just really fun to read because, drinking of all kinds is kind of recession-proof, and so they've stayed really peppy. And this issue, they have their sort of ultimate guide to creating a home bar. It had me kind of automatically reassessing my budget to determine whether I could go out and spend a few $100 on just restocking my whole bar, which I did not ultimately do. Sort of 101 for entry level. You can see they have kind of the little IKEA cart to put it on. And then they sort of move up into fancier shelving and fancier booze, all the way up to 201, and I think they have 301 as well. Yeah, oh yeah, it gets really fancy. Then they show off a bunch of different tools. It's nice and escapist, I'd say. They also have a really interesting piece about the rise in popularity of aged coffees. And they're careful to make the distinction that an aged coffee is not just old coffee. If you've got just some old bag of roasted coffee sitting around, that is what we would call stale. So next up we have New Moon Girls, which is a magazine for girls and their dreams. It's kind of a community for girls aged, 7 to 12 or so. They also actually have this really nice online community where girls can post poems and writing and artwork, and the magazine is sort of just a bi-monthly house for a lot of that stuff. This is their 25 Beautiful Girls issue. It's kind of a joke around the office because it always makes me tear up, even though I'm rather hard-hearted when it comes to these kinds of things. It's just people writing about what makes their friend, sister, daughter, etc. a beautiful person, whether it's sort of the activism that she does or the art she does, and I would just dare anybody to read this and not cry. It's really a nice kind of builder of self-esteem and identity for girls who aren't so into kind of the mass commercial culture that I think is pretty pervasive for young girls. So definitely worth a read. Also on the feminism front, we have Horizons, which is a Winnipeg-based magazine of women's issues and feminism. They have a really important and fascinating excerpt from a book, The Men Who Killed Me. It's about women in Rwanda sort of dealing with post-genocide, or dealing with the sexual violence that they suffered during the genocide. A lot has been done on sort of reconciliation and justice in Rwanda, but I sort of feel like there hasn't been much of a focus on women specifically and sexual violence that they suffered. So this woman sort of writes about how poverty and HIV rates have compounded the difficulty of recovery for these women, and has a couple of really touching personal narratives. It's not a happy recession era read, of course, but really important, and I think worth looking at. And this magazine doesn't get much circulation in the US, so if you can't find it, I think they have the article online. And that's it for this very topsy-turvy week of Shelf Life.